Hey, Sully, how are you this morning?
Pretty good, man. We just had on one of your guys, John Kelly. He did a great story on him and his son about a week or two ago. And tell us about working on that story. What a crazy turn of events there at a crew race.
Yeah, obviously, when you hear about it, our crew writer, Guy Gargan, had kind of told us about the story. I know he was just on the air with you, but Connor, his 16-year-old son, suffered a stroke at the Atlantic County Regatta on Mother's Day, had to be airlifted to CHOP in Philadelphia. Thankfully, he recovered, fully. And his brother, John, his older brother, John, who's, a year older than him at Mainland, filled in on the Mainland Junior Varsity 8 boat, so filled in at his spot. So it's a real good story there. And, and I just want to thank the Kelly family for kind of sharing their story. Every time you hear about that, you reach out to the family, and they were willing to kind of talk and pose for pictures and everything. And really, the credit goes to them for sort of, sharing their story with us and the rowing community. And really a nice story with, although a dramatic story, a story with a happy ending, and those are the best kind.
Now, Mike, in all your years of covering high school sports, have you ever heard of anything like that, a 16-year-old having a stroke?
No, I can't say off the top of my head. I mean, it's kind of one of those one in a million type of things. Basically, I might have read about it. Somebody from somewhere other than South Jersey, somebody other than maybe in North Jersey. I can't off the top of my head remember somebody from from our coverage area, the Cape Atlantic League, going through that and stuff. But I just think the way the kind of one of the things that kind of was nice to see the story, and you can still find it on our website at pressofac.com. The comments at the bottom of the story from the other rowing teams and communities. I know Morristown checked in. I think Egg Harbor Township. That rowing is kind of a communal sport. I always say it's as much a block party as it is a competition, with the big tents on the river and the cookouts and everything. And it's kind of a sport where people stick together. Obviously, the schools are trying to win, but it's a sport where people stick together. One of the things that was really nice was to see the comments, wishing Connor well, wishing the Kelly family well from the other rowing teams around South Jersey that are on the bottom of the story.
And, Mike, another story this week from Egg Harbor Township softball. I know you covered them a time or two, but generally aren't the softball writer. But Elizabeth Alisea, kind of a range of emotions this week. Her team wins the state championship, and then her mother, who was battling ovarian cancer, lost her life on Thursday. So I was just so impressed with the way Elizabeth handled herself throughout that whole playoff run. I mean, that's such a difficult thing for a high school kid to go through when one of your parents is very ill. And the way she handled herself, I'm always amazed at the way these 16-year-olds can focus on their team and their game and their sport while going through such a difficult time at home.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously, we best wishes and sympathies to her and her family. But kind of that's what sometimes sports is for people. It's a distraction. It's a place to go with your friends. It's a place to kind of escape to. And obviously EHT had a marvelous season, and they won the state championship. They lose in the tournament champions, but in the long run, the state championship is what they'll remember. And that's what sports can be a lot of times. Sports is a place to build friendships. Even more than winning and losing, it's about friendships. It's about a sense of community. It's about being a part of something that's bigger than yourself, and those things can help you when you need it, and that's what sports did for her in EHT this week.
Talking to Mike McGarry, the press of Atlantic City. Mike, a team you're very familiar with, St. Augustine Prep Baseball. They're going to be playing up at Toms River today for the state championship against Del Barton. Did you see this coming? I mean, I knew we had a pretty good squad down there with St. Augustine, but I wasn't quite sure if they could make it through that playoff gauntlet. I wasn't sure if they had the experience. We knew they had the talent, but just the experience to get through those type of games.
No, I don't think I saw it coming. I mean, obviously, St. Augustine Prep Baseball, they went to a South Jersey, the state final last year where they lost to Seton Hall Prep, but they did graduate a couple of key guys off that team. I think in our preseason Elite 11, we had them about the 7-8 range. Look, they're going to be a perennial top 10 team, no matter who they have coming back. That's the sort of talent that they have out there, the kind of program that they have. Did we see where they can, today, and trying to become the first team to win the Diamond Classic and a state title since Pennsville did it in 2005. Did we see that coming? Probably not. You know, as I wrote several times and wrote in the previous story in our paper and on our website today, you know, the prevailing feeling, or at least my prevailing feeling, was the Hermits were a year away. They're primarily underclassmen. I think they only start 2 seniors in Elfrith and Catalano. Everybody thought they were kind of a year away, maybe a year away from this success. And obviously, you know, things have clicked. They've gotten great pitching. You know, Cole Vanderslice has emerged as one of the state's top relievers. And I think they just hit. I mean, of all the St. Augustine teams that I've seen over the years, and even Mike Bilone said it the other day, this is his best hitting team in 10 years. This is the type of team can do some damage in the lineup from the number 1 spot to the number 9 spot. So that hitting depth combined with the, you know, guys stepping up, Mike Miles pitching-wise, Cole Vanderslice pitching-wise, has kind of put them in this spot today.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this year's St. Augustine team is in years past, maybe you're winning 1-0 in the 4th inning and then they drop 5-6 runs on you. This team is more of a, you know, they'll score 1 run for 4 straight innings to take a 4-1 lead on you, and you're kind of going, how do they just keep getting 1 run each inning? So they're a much more scrappy team and able to manufacture runs in ways maybe they didn't in years past.
Well, I think that speaks to the depth of the lineup. You have guys like Jerry Peacock and Bonsai hitting down in the order in the 6-7 spot. So and maybe in past years some St. Augustine lineups were top-heavy. This lineup can hurt you no matter where, you know, no matter where you are in the batting order. And I think that sort of consistency in producing runs and scoring opportunities speaks to that depth in the lineup, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, you might, in years past, there might be 2 singles and 3 straight doubles, whereas this year it's reach on an error, steal second, and score on a bleeder through the infield. So a little different dynamic with the offense.
Yeah, and it'll be a St. Augustine team that's tested today. I mean, Del Barton is 20-7 coming in. They're seeking their first state title since, I think, 2002, and you're looking at a team that's kind of the equivalent of that hot goalie in the hockey playoffs. Del Barton was the number 5 seed in the North Jersey non-public A bracket. They beat, you know, 4th-seeded Seton Hall Prep, the defending state champion. They knocked off 2nd-seeded St. Joe Montville and top-seeded Pope John the 23rd. So you've got a Del Barton team that's obviously playing really well. And they're going to be starting a left-handed pitcher in Billy Price, Jr., who's already committed to the University of Virginia. So you look at a left-handed pitcher, a Division I left-handed pitcher out there, and you know the St. Augustine lineup is going to be tested today up at Tom's River East at 2 o'clock.
Talking with Mike McGarry, Press Atlantic City. Mike, meet of champions for track today. What's on your mind for that? I mean, obviously there's going to be a ton of talent from South Jersey. We know all about Alyssa Aldridge, guys like Bo Melton, those kind of athletes. Who can really make an impact here today from maybe the Cape Atlantic League teams?
Well, I think you hit on 2 of them right there. Alyssa Aldridge right there in the 1600 and the 3200. It'll be interesting to see which race she kind of chooses to run. You've got Bo Melton in the 100-meter dash, obviously contender. Kate Antonucci of Holy Spirit, the defending champion in the javelin, will go up there and try to defend his javelin championships. He's had a wonderful season. He'll try to continue that today. So I think when you look at it, you know, you've got a ton of other people contending or competing today. Charles Fields of Wildwood Catholic, a whole contingent from Holy Spirit. You know, Alexa Gardner from Hamilton, Brielle Smith from Oak Crest, a pair of javelin throwers from Atlantic County who won state titles. Kind of unusual to have 2 kids from the same county. You know, Alexa won in Group 3, Brielle won in Group 2. 2 schools, a couple miles apart, producing state champions in the same event is kind of unusual. So it should be a great day up there at Northern Burlington. We'll have Erin Grugan going up there and covering it for us, and you can follow her on Twitter to kind of see what's going on up there and stuff like that. But I think you're kind of looking at Aldridge, Melton, and to see what Kate Antonucci can do as far as those main 3. And then, you know, look at some of the Egg Harbor Township kids, too, Amir Brock, and those guys in the season they've had, they'll look to cap it off today at the Meet of Champions.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy with Brielle Smith. I mean, she's not even a track athlete, really. She's more of a soccer and basketball player. Only just started doing track last spring on kind of a whim, and here she is, you know, becoming one of the best throwers in the state.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, sometimes, you know, that's the great thing about track. You kind of see that with track. and especially a lot of times you see that with throwers like Brielle. You don't see sometimes you don't see a lot of people that grow up throwing, like they start with the shot put in the second, third, and fourth grade, the way you do in other sports and stuff like that. Sometimes that's a sport that you kind of go to in high school. Sometimes it's a sport. Spring track and field is a sport that a lot of kids go to sometimes to sort of keep in shape and stuff like that.
Yep.
And sometimes you can find unexpected success in it to even surpass, what you thought your primary sport was going into high school.
Mike, we're up against the break. Got to let you go, but take a day off next week, all right, buddy? You've earned it.
Keep going. We got our all-star teams coming out and athletes of the year and all that stuff. So although today's the last day, we're still going to keep going with the coverage of the high school sports for a while. So
all right, well, take off that week of July 4th.
I'll definitely do that.
I'll talk to Melton. Put in the word for you.
All right, I'd appreciate that. Thanks.
All right, man.
All right, see you later, Sully. Thanks.
Yep. That was Mike McGarry, press for Atlantic City.